After the trip to the farm, Laine didn't see Dad for a long time, and then he was in the living room at the house in Darby where she lived with Mom. They had an acre of land with a stunning view of the mountains, but since moving in 7 years earlier, new developments were being built where there'd only been dirt bikes and barbed wire. Laine was a preteen that summer when Dad got a break from truck driving and stayed in Darby for 2 months. And he was like a man pulled into nature, focused in his element. He came inside to where Laine was watching Gone with the Wind, one of the rare movies they had watched together. And at that moment, Scarlet O'Hara was holding the dirt in her hands, saying that land was all that mattered. Her plantation had been ransacked with the Civil War, and she struggled to keep the crops alive. That land, in her case, their plantation, was called Tara, which was a funny coincidence, Laine thought, as Tara was the ancient seat of kingship in Ireland. Scarlet O'Hara really changed since Rhett Butler left her on her ass. She began to appreciate all she had taken for granted because in the time she was still fantasizing over the dreamy Ashley, her childhood sweetheart. "Come see what I've done," Dad said. "You can help me out." Laine got up hesitantly like any lazy preteen and shut the cabinet door and shut the TV with a clap. She followed Dad around the back acre, not wanting to be torn away from her movie. She scanned the yard. Pete, their cat, was laying on a piece of chopped wood next to the porch. The new cottonwood was getting taller each day. There was the shed and woodshed and the steel overhang where Dad's weight bench stood underneath, and the tree in the back acre that held her falling apart treehouse. In the back portion, separated by a line of purple irises, Dad had planted trees, shrubs, and lilac bushes. It must have cost a fortune. Dad had dug furrows in the ground that the irrigation ditch would fill on days it was their turn to irrigate. He pointed to the fields edging into the Bitterroot Mountains and said, "See the developments going up? Well, in a few years these trees will grow and we'll still have a good view. I'm gonna pay you to help me water this summer." Well, Dad told Laine what he wanted her to do. Laine watched Dad's shadow cook on the grass and almost laughed outright. His skin had turned all red. His shadow looked like an ostrich with his beer belly poking out on top of his scrawny chicken legs. He went through a phase of different hairstyles that summer. Right then he was bald on top with a long beard, and Mom called it his Colonel Mustard look. "Can't you just take me with you?" she asked when it was time for him to go back on the road. But in the end she was stuck there. She wanted the thrill of the open road with so many places to see and explore, all the highways and byways passing and intersecting. But a feeling crept on slowly as she took up the watering, appreciation maybe, while she let the water spray in the bright sunlight, bringing the hose around in clockwise intervals. Starting from that time, Dad gave her the responsibility of tending to the trees. He seemed to be instilling in her the teachings he'd never mastered: consistency, faith, patience, and self-control, enough to avoid the bad habits. As it seemed, there was a creator and a destroyer in each of us, and it all started with the habits. Thanks for watching my video, guys. I'll be back with another video next Wednesday. Till then, ciao!